So what is happening, people? Today is July the 8th. And so anyway, I hadn't been here to Hyco in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I guess. And the water looks good. We've had a little rain. The water's stained up just a little bit. Hey, I like to fish that stained water. And we're going to look around and see how the Crappies has transitioned. So I'm going to look around, may fish some boat docks today. You know, and as a fisherman, you come to a new lake, you need to, you'll have to spend a little time looking around to actually find the fish. Now, I'm set up with my rods to vertical jig, and I'm also set up to cast up underneath some of them docks with some curly tails. And we'll talk about some colors that I choose. And I may change some colors just looking at this water clarity. But anyway, as always on any given lake, you can have multiple patterns. Here, I just came up a deep bank line right on the edge of the creek channel, and it looks like a lot of fish was suspended in that 12 to 16 foot range. So trolling probably would be a good way to go, but I'm not set up for trolling on my particular boat. Anyway, we appreciate all the support we've been getting for this channel. Hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below, click that like button, hit the notification bell, comment. Please comment on the channel. I like to see all the comments that you guys send in. If you want to see something a little different, hey, just comment below and let me know. Anyway, hey guys, stay with us and let's go catch a fish. Hey guys, while we get set up here to get our rods out and to go catch us a crappie, hey, take a look at these fish. Jason Scruggs sent me. These fish were caught back in the spring around the April time, but he caught a nice mess of fish. I think him and his wife were at Hyco Lake for just a couple of days doing some crappie fishing. Hey, take a look at these fish he caught. Well, finally got us a crappie to bite. It looks like I broke the tail off. My fault. That's a good crappie. That's a, that's a 11-inch crappie right there. Good crappie. I caught him on that shad color curly tail. Let's get him in the live well. So I've been fishing. I fished some deep brush along that bank. Didn't really see any crappies holding there. A lot of crappie around that 12, 15 foot range. And fished a couple of brush piles out on some points. Had fish there, but I never could get them to bite. I changed to that gray-haired jig, just couldn't bite. So kind of came into the upper end of the lake. The water's much dingier up here, which helps us as crappie fishermen. As you know, we like a little dingy water. So, you know, out here behind me in the lake, there's some brush under the water, and so I'm gonna just probe around. I came in, I'm gonna try to be quiet as always, and I'm gonna might do some vertical jigging. As long as I can catch them, pitching out to them and swimming the lure over the brush. They seem to be, that one came up out of the brush and got the lure. As long as they're doing that, that's what I'm gonna continue to do. Another decent crappie. And that's that's a 10-inch crappie right there. Boom. Now, that crappie bit so easy. I just saw the line twitch is the only reason I caught him. We got kind of something special going on today. So yesterday, as you know, I'm located in the northern Piedmont of North Carolina. We just had that hurricane low pressure go by yesterday. That's one of the only reasons I didn't fish yesterday. And So that low pressure went through. We got another low pressure cold front coming down through Virginia right now. Supposed to be here sometime around 12 o'clock today. And so I think that's got the fish, barometric pressures, you know, it's down a little bit, and it's got the fish a little lethargic. I see them hugging tight on this structure, and they're not necessarily coming up. I kind of like a barometric pressure that's high and stable. And as always, when we're talking to the camera, a boat comes. So I'll just wait a minute. So anyways, some of you guys out there may follow how the barometric pressure affects fish. I know approaching barometric pressure, you know, like the day before, 12 to 24 hours before, usually fish will be feeding. But as far as crappie, in my opinion, the stable, high barometric pressure has always been a little better for me. And hey, comment below. You know, it's all about sharing on this YouTube channel. And comment below what you kind of have seen over your period of time actually fishing. So I'm gonna switch up. I got hung up a couple of times pitching out over top of this brush, and I got that gray hair jig on. I'm gonna ease up here and drop that gray hair jig down into these fish and see if I get a different reaction. It seems like on the brush or on this underwater tree, fish are hugged right around the base of the tree, right around the limbs. You got a few fish that are up higher in the water column. Now those fish are the ones that are actually hitting, because they're up looking for bait coming by. And there's a tremendous amount of bait. I can just see them on the live scope just going by, just schools and schools of shad. That's one thing Hyco Lake has going for it. It has a lot of bait fish on it, which supports all these bass and these crappies. So we'll turn the boat around, vertical jig straight down, see what we can come up with. For those new to the channel, I have these. I have a 10-foot ACC crappie stick. That is, I have learned to use this 10-foot ACC crappie stick very effectively, and the little bit longer rod puts the tip of the rod out a little further, and I can set, if I set my live scope up and I'm looking at brush at say you know, 5 to 10 feet, I know I drop straight down, I'm right on that zone. And you know, I may get this fall I may go up and get a longer rod, something around the 14-foot range or 12 to 14-foot range. But for right now, these 10-foot ACC crappie sticks have been doing a good job. So hey, let's go catch a fish. There's another keeper. That's a 9.5-inch crappie right there. I caught him on that Brad's bait tackle, gray 16th hair jig. You know, and many times you're fishing, and hey, you get to some places, I mean, not a crappie in there will even look at the lure. Strange enough, you can go up the lake 300 or 400 yards and find a place that crappie are actually biting. And some of that may have to do something with some fishing pressure. So let's go see if we can get them on this Bobby Garland's. I forget the name of the color. Bleeding Minnow, I think, is the name of the color. That's a good looking color. I like it. Now these fish in this tree are not acting spooky. They're not running from the boat. They're in fairly shallow water, about 8 to 10 feet of water, and just working around this structure in here. And they're not spooky, so they haven't seemed to react negatively to the boat. Seems like when I back off, there's more fish in the tree. So I think that once I get on top of them, they push out away from it, and then I drift away, changing the lure, they come back. Okay, so right out here, I'll drop that lure. Finally, there's one. That's 9.5-inch fish. Boom, look at that. Look at that black streak across his back. See that black streak across his back? It's very odd to see one like that. Now, that's at Bobby Garland's. That's that gray, clear, silver, shad color. Now, they have reacted to that color better than any color I put down there. Now, not to say that they're eating it every time I drop, but they are reacting much better to that color. It's multiple fish coming up striking at it, and I have to restrain myself when I feel the thump to set the hook till I know he's got it in his mouth, because they're knocking the crap out of it, but they're just not eating it. So let me ease back over there and see if we can catch another one. That was a little bit better. Now he got that on the drop. You know, that's a 10-inch crappie right there all day, y'all. And getting that live well. So I tell you what I've been having to do. I'm using that 10-foot rod to get some angle on the lure, and the fish are just around that brush. And I'm just dropping the end of that rod slowly, so the lure actually looks like it's an injured shad, and I'm really controlling the fall. Now you noticed I've gotten rid of my split shot. Boom, no split shot. These fish are not that deep. I anticipated fishing much deeper than I am, and that is a 1/16 ounce bullet head right there, 1/16 ounce. And I'm controlling the fall. There's plenty of fish there. Why aren't they biting? Well, playing with presentations. Here again, I've pitched to them. I've caught a couple winding through, but I also got hung in the tree. So vertical jigging is easier. The tree's got a lot of limbs sticking up, so it's easier for me to drop down between the limbs and vertical jig. Now, if I had minnows, it may make a big difference. Tomorrow, I will bring some minnows with me, and we'll put them under some corks. Got my nephew coming, he's 8 years old, and so that'll give him something visual to concentrate on. If I catch him vertical jigging, I'll put a rod in his hand and let him vertical jig. But anyway, that being said, so I'm playing with the presentations to see if I can get a crappie to react to that particular presentation. So it seems to be that's a natural color, shad color, very clear lure. If I control the fall into the fish, I'm getting a much better reaction. But all in all, I've tried probably 8 colors today. That color has been the most reactive. Anyway, let's go up here and catch another fish. That's a good one, y'all. That slab. Boom. Boom, I said boom. That is a good crappie right there. And that's what we're after. You know, that's 11.5-inch fish right there. Boom. Go up and do that again. Okay, so update. I'm gonna fish this dock real quick. I fished one down the lake just a little ways and had some pretty good luck around the lake. Caught some good crappie. Caught 5 or 6, you know, in the 9.5 to 10-inch range. And you know, when I'm fishing the dock, I always say I like a curly tail, because that you know, the lure swimming looks like a shad swimming by or minnow. Anyway, I'm gonna fish this dock real quick. I got good shade on this side of the lake here, and so we're gonna pitch around. I hadn't pitched under the dock yet, so we're gonna pitch around and see if we can pick up a fish. And as I always say, that docks provide a lot of shade. Hey, crappie love shade, so let's go catch a fish. And that's a pretty good one too. Now you noticed I didn't try to do too much. Not quite sure. The crappie look like they're about 6 to 8 foot deep under this dock. And that is a good crappie. Good crappie. Oh, for those of you in the other parts of the country, that's a good crappie. How about that? So basically I just pitch up underneath the dock, give it a little slack, allow the lure to fall for about 4 feet, and then I just hold it and allow it to free fall. And hope I get bit. Sometimes, you know, you got those cross members under the dock. If you pitch back and you over cross member, and if a fish picks it up, lots of times you can get the fish out over the cross member, but if you swim the lure under it, it'll get hung. Now I have some weedless jig heads, and if I was fishing all docks today, I would probably switch to them. So let's ease up here and see if we can catch another fish. Now you notice this dock just got bit. You notice how the boats are up. This makes it much easier to fish a dock, and that's a good crappie right there. Makes it much easier to fish these docks if they've got those boats up, because you can fish in the slip. And lots of times that's a good 10 1/4 inch crappie right there. Boom. And makes it much easier to fish. Many times you get to these docks, your biggest crappie will come on the first few casts. And I'm not gonna wear this dock out. I may want to come back and fish it. And we're just gonna, I just wanted to check it. I was up here pretty close. Boom. And again, I'm just letting that lure free fall through the strike zone. And this is another good crappie, unless it's a bass. We'll just lift him right up. And I want to make this, don't make a rookie mistake. You see, I've got as much line in the water where that crappie is. And right here, I just lift him right to me. I don't have to wind up to get him to the end. And hey guys, that's a good crappie. That's 11 1/2 inch fish right there. Boom. That's a good crappie. So we're going to end this video, guys. So let's recap what we done today. We started out fishing on some points and some brush in really deep water. Wasn't successful at that. Moved on up the lake, fished some brush and shallower water, that 6 to 12 foot range, some blowdowns under the water, and we were fairly successful. Now the crappie, I had to play with a bunch of colors, used about 8 colors. They seemed to like that natural color, clear, kind of looked like a shad, and you know, sprayed a little lure scent on there. That seemed to help. But what helped the most was letting that jig down to those fish slower, and they reacted. So from there we moved on to the docks, and you saw us catch some fish around the docks. We caught some nice fish around the docks. And I hadn't came down here and really concentrated on docks yet, because I got this new electronics, so I've been looking offshore for some underwater brush for, you know, as we progress later in the summer. So this is July 8th. You can come to the lake and catch some crappie. We're getting ready to move off of the lake right now. The boat traffic's really getting heavy. It's around 11 o'clock. Yeah, it's 11:31 right now. So we're gonna get off the lake. So anyway, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Subscribe to the channel. Again, we appreciate all of the support we've been getting for this channel. And hit that like button, click the notification bell, leave a comment. And hey guys, you remember, it's a wildlife, and I'll see you on the water.